Do you know how long she stayed at
Wow.
the first place that she went to after she left her house
What
before
a
she
load
moved
of crap.
to a second place?
What I know, and this is hearsay, counsel, is that my daughter has had to move something like 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
But do you know any potential?
No, I don't know any place.
He didn't want
I
to
was
be tortured
taken
into
one time
divulging her
for
address,
Christmas Day.
but stayed
I've
living
only
in her
seen
house
my
where he could be
daughter,
found.
and this is very hard for me to say, but during the period my daughter left, I've only seen my daughter 13 times.
13.
Because I can't, and we've never seen each other more than maybe 3 hours.
Why?
Because of, the nightmare threats against her and me.
And
What the
I understand
hell
that,
is he
and
talking
from the
about?
perspective of being a father myself, I understand what that means. So I'm going to move away from that. I was just trying to get an idea of date-wise, okay? So let me try to get one more date.
Can't meet with her because of security?
When you were being interviewed by one of the gentlemen that wrote the book at the DA's office, and Mr. Wade came in, can you give us, other than 2023, what the date would be?
I'm sorry, I can't counsel.
How about spring, summer, any idea?
I would guess spring or summer.
With
but
the kids,
I
with the
can't.
kids.
I don't. I'm sorry.
And you've already indicated, at least to your recollection, that was the first time that you'd met Mr. Wade.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Not arguing with you about that. I want to go to Miss Willis's boyfriend that you referenced. Okay. You met Miss Willis's boyfriend, as you've characterized it, when you came here in 2019.
Correct.
And you met him on one occasion, several occasions?
Oh, no, I saw him often.
Oh, so you mean there was no secret that she was dating this man?
Not from me.
Not from you.
And he was a disc jockey of some kind. I think he had
I
a
see where he's
government
going
job
with
during the day. I don't know what it was, but apparently he would do weddings and so forth and so on. He was a disc jockey, play music. So he had all his stuff was always in the way, and I was always having to try to push it aside. And anyway.
But Miss Willis, your daughter didn't keep him from you, correct?
No, but he kept Wade from you.
There was no doubt.
We my daughter and I lived in the same house. I mean, he came and went,
Right. Now,
Wow, this is a disaster.
when did you learn that your daughter had a romantic, personal relationship with Mr. Wade?
Well, about 7 weeks ago when as a matter of fact,
I just did something bad.
found out when other folks found out.
Oh my goodness, he
That
doesn't
is, your
realize what
daughter,
he just
as
said.
I
here.
understand it, never told you one time
Never.
in the year of 2022 that she was dating Mr. Wade.
No,
That's correct.
Of course not. Why would she? They had to
And
keep it secret.
Until recently, you didn't know from anyone, including
He got it from
your
the
daughter,
news. He got it
that
from the news.
She dated Mr. Wade, correct?
That's correct.
That is,
I learned it
whatever
from the
the
court proceedings.
relationship is between father and daughter.
Oh, my
She
goodness.
kept that a secret from you, correct?
Correct.
That's all I need to know.
Well,
Stockton.
how did that go? How did that go, Fanny? Not the way you thought it would. No more questions, Your Honor. Oh my goodness! Put a fork in it.
Good morning. Correct. Good morning, Counsel.
When your daughter moved or left
Oh.
the house that she owned, did she say anything to you about having a large savings of cash?
Oh, no, no. See, maybe, excuse me, and Your Honor, I'm not trying to be racist, okay? But it's a black thing, okay? I was trained, and most black folks, they hide cash or they keep cash. And I trained, you always keep some cash because I've been places, and just because of the color of my skin, for example, I took a fellowship at Harvard when my daughter was just, if I might, Your Honor, when I was just, she was just, maybe 3 years old. And I remember going to a restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I had a American Express credit card and maybe a Visa or whatever. And I had a lot of what they call traveler's checks. I don't even know if they still have traveler's checks, but traveler's checks. And there was a sign said, with the credit card. For whatever reasons, the man would not take my American Express credit card. So I pulled out my Visa card, and he wouldn't take my Visa card. So then I pulled out my traveler's checks. He said, "We don't take checks." Now these were traveler's checks. This was money. I had a $10 bill. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And he said, the bill for my wife at the time, Fani's mother, Fani, and myself was like $9.95, and I had a $10 bill. That was all that. I always remember that. But even before that, I've always kept cash, and I've told my daughter, you keep 6 months worth of
right
cash, always. For example, I had 3 safes in my house. I put some of my clients' stuff there too, things I didn't want other lawyers to be, because you're always in a firm, and I knew that there were special conditions. So some of my clients' things I would bring home, put them in the safe. But I've always kept safes. And as a matter of fact, I gave my daughter her first cash box and told her always keep some cash.
So is that a yes?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's all I got, Judge.
Mr. Durham.
No questions.
Mr. McDougald.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rice.
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Gillen.
Sorry, guys.
It's still morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, counsel. How are you?
Just fine. Just a few questions following up. When you were talking about when you learned about Mr. Wade and your daughter, correct?
Correct.
Now, did your daughter tell you in around October of 2022 that she had gone on a Caribbean cruise with Mr. Wade to the Bahamas?
The answer is I knew that my daughter had gone, but I did not know who she went with or what the circumstances were. So I knew that she had gone out of town, but I didn't know with whom.
I see. And did she tell you in November of 2022 that she had gone to Aruba and stayed at the Hyatt Regency Resort there in Aruba for 3 days with Mr. Wade? Did she tell you that?
The answer was, again, I knew she went out of town. I didn't even know where she went. I knew she was going out of town. She told me she was going out of town. I think she might have said she was going out of the country or something. She'd be gone. But other than that, that was all.
Okay. And did she tell you in March of 2023 that she was going to Belize for several days with Mr. Wade?
It's the same answer, that I knew she would tell me she was going out of town, and she may or may not have told me where she was going, but she'd be gone for a couple of days.
Okay. Now, in 2023, you were in many days you would be out in California, correct?
Some days I'd be in California, correct.
Okay. Well, did she tell you in May of 2023 that she was traveling to Napa Valley with Mr. Wade, so maybe y'all could see each other when she visited California with Mr. Wade?
The answer is no.
And so the first time that you ever met Mr. Wade or learned about Mr. Wade, to your recollection, was in 2023?
That's correct.
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Kachuroff. On Zoom.
Yes, Ron, just a couple quick questions. Good morning, sir. I know I can't see you.
I can't see you either,
We
but
can take a moment.
good morning, counsel.
We can take a moment. Let's just pause, see if we can change the screens to show Mr. Kachuroff. Sorry. We need
Your Honor, I'm on a phone, so it's kind of difficult.
Can you turn your screen on now?
I'm trying to. Does that work?
Just to hold one more moment? All right, there we go. You can proceed, Mr. Kachuroff.
Sir, you seem to know about the issue of cash in this transaction. You said it was a black thing. How did you know that the cash was going to be an issue in this testimony?
Because I was asked for it, and I was prepped by the lawyers, and they asked me about it. What else?
Clip that. Clip that.
And did you speak with Mr. Wade about your testimony?
No.
I spoke with Fani
Did
about
you
my
speak with your
testimony.
daughter about your testimony?
Yes. It's complicated.
She may have been present when the lawyers were. I really don't remember.
If Mr. Wade and your daughter were dating,
This is
you wouldn't have
corruption
known that unless your daughter told you.
through family, through lawyer.
What do you, maybe I'm not understanding your question, counsel. So maybe you want to restate. What is it that you're asking me?
Yeah, if it wasn't clear, I can re-ask the question. I'll rephrase it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Mr. Wade, if Mr. Wade and your daughter were dating, you wouldn't have known that unless your daughter told you.
I did not know that they were dating. And when were you talking about the cash? I didn't know that. I don't know what you're asking me.
Oh, you know what he's
I told
asking.
my child.
You know what he's
from
asking.
the time she was a child is always have some money. Always have some money.
Some
If you
6
go on a
months.
date so that people don't try to stick you and you want to leave whoever. Always keep some cash, okay?
Mr. Floyd, you answered the question that the attorneys prepped you for that, so that's all I wanted to know.